Tunaanzia leo na gazeti la Taifa Leo, anasema pale habari kuu kwenye ukurasa wa mbele, ODM yatishia UDA. Masuala ya siasa hapa. Katibu wa UDA asema ODM haipaswi kuwa na wasiwasi kwamba ngome zake zinavamiwa iwapo ni maarufu. Kulikuwa na mkutano wa wajumbe bungeni jana, ile inaitwa parliamentary group meeting. Baada ya mkutano wakahutubia wanahabari wakasema sasa members of ODM will be going for zoning. Zoning simply means that if ODM, let's say for example in a region like Nyanza where most MPs are ODM, then UDA, if at all they get into that coalition, should not field any members of parliament there. But that is not really the bone of contention, whatever is happening in Nyanza. It's in regions that are considered battlegrounds, especially Coast Region and Western Kenya. Yeah. Because Coast Region had a lot of MPs from ODM party. Western, the same. I think a majority of MPs from Western currently, out of many constituencies, about 10 of them are from ODM party. But UDA has been making inroads there. So ODM says, if at all the current MPs from ODM, then UDA should stay away from that when it comes to the next election. Do you think they'll agree to that?
They have to.
ODM yatishia UDA ni habari kuu pale. Tazungumzia haya baadaye na wageni wangu hapa. Habari zingine zimepewa kipaumbele kwenye ukurasa wa mbele wa gazeti la Taifa Leo. Pale chini, makachero wakusanya ushahidi. Pelelezi
wamaliza. That question you've asked, let me just take you back. You think they'll agree? I was listening to Junet Mohammed yesterday and he said the only thing they're not going to debate about is their parliamentary positions. That's
exactly what they're saying. The zoning.
Yes.
So
UDA has to agree.
But they initially they had said that the one thing they would not debate about is the number 2 position. Yeah. So now they've shifted the goalpost to now the only thing they will not debate about is zoning, where they already have their parliamentary members. We'll have to see. I do not think UDA could agree with that, especially in a region like Western Kenya. This problem was actually, this concern was raised by an MP from Kilifi. Because she said that in the recent past, she has already seen that UDA is already propping up about 3 or 4 new people to run for MP seats. Meanwhile, ODM is a current party in that region. So
it's like ODM going to do, these things in Rift Valley.
In Rift Valley.
Doesn't make sense.
Well, I don't know. Will they agree?
Wait, it's a matter of wait and see.
Kuna ile ajali ya ndege, makachero wakusanya ushahidi, wapelelezi wamaliza kukusanya ushahidi muhimu eneo la ajali ya helikopta Nandi. Ni ile ajali ambayo iliua watu 6 akiwemo mbunge wa Emurwa Diker, Yohana Ngeno. Habari hiyo inaendelea. Kidokezo cha pili, Ngeno alivyokosa ushindi mwaka 2007. Masuala ya nje ya nchi, Irani hapa kuvamia meli Hormuz, that Strait of Hormuz. Bei ya mafuta yatarajiwa kupanda maeneo tofauti duniani kwa kiwango kubwa. I think the biggest concern about what's happening in the Middle East, especially for African countries, is what happens to our fuel prices. And you'll see that when we come to discussing the regional dailies. Everyone is just concerned about the fuel. Not even bothering about probably Kenyans who are in the Middle East and who could be having serious problems.
Safe. The Ministry of Energy and Petroleum released a statement yesterday saying we are safe, we have enough up to April.
And up to April. That is only 1 month away. We do not know how long this war will take. Remember, Russia and Ukraine are still at war more than a year later. Imagine if this war could take a year. What happens to the fuel prices in Africa?
And Iran is not backing down.
Well, wamesema mbaya. Pale juu pigo kwa PAA ama PA, katibu akiingia UDA. Unaona sasa hii? PA ni chama ambacho kule Pwani. Ndio chama kubwa pale. Sasa unasikia UDA wameingia huko. Katibu mkuu Kenneth Kazungu ahamia chama tawala cha UDA. Na masuala ya spoti, Arsenal ni mguni ponye EPL. Gunners waliokileleni wahitaji ushindi ili Man City isiwakaribia. Remember, there are English Premier League games this week. Today I think Arsenal will be facing Brighton. They'll be away to Brighton, so a good result would actually be possible for Arsenal. They're on a good run. That's Taifa Leo.
Daily Nation, still ODM given prominence here. Storm over Linda Mwananchi party. It's a twist, they call it. A plot to transform Linda Mwananchi, a campaign slogan coined by perceived ODM rebels, into a party has sparked a bitter row between rival Orange factions on the real sponsors of the initiative. Is it the rebels' fallback plan, a hostile takeover by rivals, or a business venture for political brokers?
Kuna jamaa amekimbia pale kwa registrar of political parties na akaregister Linda Mwananchi kama chama. But the problem is, Sifuna says, it's not us.
You remember that story you were telling me some time back, what happened with ODM?
Yes.
That somebody went and registered ODM before Raila Odinga could register ODM.
Yeah, and you see, they've not committed any crime.
Yes.
So for you who really owned the name, it's either you buy it from them,
Yeah.
or
wow.
you get into that party which no longer belongs to you.
Kenya, if you're poor, ni kama ni kwa kupenda. The Register of Political Parties is reviewing an application to reserve the name.
Yes.
Oh, wow. There's one side Linda ground, and they say they should declare their intention since their rallies have abandoned ODM colors. They should come out clear on their real intentions in light of this application to form a new political party. Linda Mwananchi, on the other hand, says this movement is bigger than a name. They've taken the letter of the law, but the spirit of the law is still with the people. The movement is not in the name. So I'm assuming maybe Sifuna now, they might change the name from Linda Mwananchi to something else. If at all they won't want to buy whatever is already with the register.
If at all the intention was to actually form a party from that.
Yeah.
But they could form any other party. You don't have to call it Linda Mwananchi.
Yeah.
Linda Mwananchi is simply probably a movement now that could actually run its course within a few months and move on to something else. Yeah.
Or maybe there's not any intention to form a party. They're like just hunting from different sides, and then they come together and form something.
Interesting.
Yeah. This is a story on page 4 and 5, quite interesting. Other quick headlines here on the front page. 8 learners have died in schools this term, according to lobby groups. And this is the Elimu Bora Working Group has raised the alarm over safety of students in schools, noting that at least 8 learners have died since the institutions reopened in January. That's a story on page 10.
This is very worrying for parents, especially. That call from school, and then unaambiwa kuja kuna shida hapa shule. Then you get to school and you're told your son or daughter is no more.
Yeah.
Yeah, that has happened a lot this year. 8 in 2 months. That's too much. It's like every week a learner dies.
Yeah. It's only been 8 weeks.
Yes, it's 2 months, January and February.
Yeah.
So we are actually on the 9th week of this year.
All right. NSSF sold fake land to teachers. SACCO, why workers will lose trust. This is a story on page 8. Oil and gas prices rise as Iran war disrupts shipping. This is a story on page 8 and 20. It says smoke billowed from an oil tanker under U.S. sanctions after it was hit off Oman's Musandam Peninsula in the screen grab taken from a video obtained by Reuters on March 1st, 2026. This is a special feature.
So that's the biggest concern for us as Kenyans, and for the region. We'll see that it's on the front page, oil and gas prices. So Kenya, we're very confident we have stocks up until April. It's only 30 days. It's only 30 days from now. Okay, fine, end of April, 60 days from now. Then we are assuming the war will have ended, and everyone will have been back on the high seas exporting oil to Africa and other parts of the world. That won't happen, I can tell you for sure. This war will take probably 2, 3, 4 months. Then what happens?
You know the type of oil we have? The one that keeps us safe? The quality type. The good quality type. That's the oil.
The good quality type.
The good quality type. On the inside pages of the Daily Nation, how Johanna Ngeno's denied election victory birthed Emurua Dikir. That's a story on page 2. He's the first MP for Emurua Dikir, right?
Yes.
That's why they are so...
He's the only MP of that area so far.
So far. Oh, wow. All right, on the back page, Matter Sports, football players banned by ADAC but still playing. FKF say they are not aware of any players sanctioned by the Kenyan Anti-Doping Agency. ADAC says affected players risk lengthier bans if they violate sentence. Each to their own, says Guardiola, as set-piece debate deepens in EPL. And that's the Daily Nation. All
right, let's move on to the Standard. It has a very interesting headline. Wanasema Mbadi, yes, I lied. Alinanganyana. So mistruths exposed by this paper. Okay, fine. I need to read this so that you can understand the context. Treasury CS swore before the National Assembly that the National Infrastructure Fund, which is about 5 trillion shillings, existed. He told Parliament it was registered. He now admits in an affidavit to court that the fund was never incorporated, not even its name was secured. This has been a controversy that has gone on for a while. The fact that this infrastructure fund that the president announced, and we said this is what it will take us to Singapore. And then the CS Treasury said they were going to form a limited liability company to run that fund. Notwithstanding the fact that the Constitution provides for such funds, consolidated funds, other funds. So if at all there's a infrastructure fund, it should be provided for in the Constitution. So everyone was asking, okay, so hii pesa mutaenda ikuwe a private company ndo wana run 5 trillion shillings of Kenyan money. So people went to court na saying hapana, ayoache hiyo maneno. Hata tu kusema hivyo, hata hatujaanzisha hiyo kitu. Yes, I lied. That's a CS, and that's a big story there on the front page of the Standard. It's the only story given prominence. Tuangalie uko ndani. Just one story that I'd seen that is quite interesting, and that is on Kofi Olomide. It's on page 2. Kofi Olomide is 69 years old. He's finally wedded his longtime partner, Cindy Loko. They've been together for over 20 years.
After 20 years.
After 20 years. But even during that 20 years, Kofi was married to someone else.
Oh, wow.
After divorcing someone else, so this is like his third marriage. At 69. So hata wale wako scared of settling down hapa Kenya, usijali, bado kuna muda.
Take your time.
Usiwe na haraka. Moms usijali. 60 bado utakuwa tu hapa.
Moms is our camera person. You know, people are thinking that actually that's his first marriage, because when news went round that he married the lady after 20 years, then people are asking, 20 years of dating?
No, this lady has been there. While Kofi has been married twice.
Wow.
Ako tu hapo tu.
So replacement anakuanga tu hapo tu. Ampanga line.
Lakini even her, she has been really patient. 20 years?
Oh, wow. I mean, it's Kofi. Anyway.
All right. Congratulations to them. The Standard back page, battle for EPA title continues as Arsenal and Man City are in action today, and the matches to look forward to: Aston Villa versus Chelsea. Itakuwa kichapo chingine. Unajua Chelsea have just come out from a beating. Now they're going to be beaten again today at 10:30. Hey, kutakuwa na kilio hapa. Arsenal will be at Brighton. Fulham facing West Ham, Man City, Nottingham Forest, and Newcastle against Man United, which is the latter game at 11 p.m. All the other games will be on at 10:30, and that's the Standard.
All right, let's take a look at the Star this morning. 10,000 jobs created as Rironi upgrade drives businesses. This is a highway to Singapore, as the Star calls it. Traffic snarl up on the Naivasha-Nakuru highway near Delamere on Sunday. This is a photo here on the front page. A foundation stone for the construction of the Rironi-Naivasha-Gilgil-Mau Summit Road set up along the Nairobi-Nakuru Road near Limuru. And we see construction workers and machines on the highway. 10,000 jobs created.
From that road.
Yes, that's a good thing.
It better happen. It better happen. I remember the president, when he was driving on that road immediately after launching the construction, he said, and he made a promise, that such traffic jams on that highway by December of this year will be a thing of the past. This is February. We're still seeing the traffic jams. So he has exactly now 10 months. 10 months. 10 months to actually ensure the jams. The project is scheduled for completion by April 2027. So by December what happened to that promise? Well, that by December that jam will not be there. Bado iko hadi aseme bullish. All right. Letu jicho. Mentally ill offenders to be moved from cells to hospital in a proposed law. That's another story on page 8. Weatherman says expect short dry spell, but El Nino is also on the way. That's another story on page 3. It's raining in some parts of the country, rain likely to be enhanced over much of the country during first half of March. On the top strip, US, Israel and Iran war strikes and counter strikes. Kenyans left in turmoil as Middle East war hits home. New Senate bill seeks to clear path for referendum is another story on page 6, and that's the Star, fresh, independent and different. Grab a copy today at Kenya shilling 60. All right, from the Star, we take a look at the People Daily. It has a very interesting story on the front page. And this one throws a span in the works. So far, questions are who's running for president, who's not. But now they're asking this question, is Orengo plotting another stab at the presidency? Many may not know. I'm sure even... Yes. I know, did you know that Orengo had run for president once? I'm a student of history. Yeah, okay. So James Orengo ran for president in 2002. Actually ran against Mwai Kibaki with SDP. Years later, people forgot about him then. He joined ODM. Now he joined the Raila Odinga movement. Now with Raila gone, and this Sifuna Babu Owino Sotsi movement, always carrying Orengo around, people asking, oh, could he be trying to run for president again? After all, he has done it before. He could do it again. Yeah. So emerging from Raila's shadow, that's a story there. Do you think he might? I think if he does, probably he's among the few Kenyan politicians who has that stature. He's a senior counsel. He's been a member of cabinet in the Grand Coalition. He's served as a member of both the National Assembly and the Senate for a very long time. He's served as governor now. In terms of experience, well, he was in the movement, multi-party democracy. He was among the young Turks back then. He was among the bearded sisters in parliament back in the day. This is a kind of guy who would run for president.
You know, there's an argument that he's been, ameshindwa kuran Siaya. So will he be able to run the country? Well, that's another conversation online. Right. So we leave it to you to answer that one.
IBC cash crisis as another story there, and Kwale's trillions shilling hangover after the mining boom. Those are the stories on the People Daily today.
All right. Finally, Business Daily. Nedbank increases NCBA cash buyout to 31.6 billion Kenyan shillings. They say that Nedbank will spend a maximum of that amount in the cash component of its buyout of a 66% stake in NCBA Group, creating more room to pay investors who will not take up shares in the South African firm. Now, the cash offers has grown by 9.7 billion shillings from 21.9 billion shillings initially indicated, giving Nedbank more flexibility in receiving acceptances from small investors and major institutions constrained from investing in Johannesburg Stock Exchange listed companies. That's the story on page 2 of the Business Daily.
All right.
Unilever releases toothpaste advertising war with Colgate, and on the ticker, Kenya's Eurobond debt rises to 1.4 trillion shillings after new issuance. BAT replaces CEO, finance chief in executive changes, and Circulon's default rate falls to 5.9% on improved repayment. That's the Business Daily. All
right, before we take a look at the cartoons, let's take a look at the regional papers, see what people in Uganda and Tanzania are focusing on this morning. And I'm looking at the front page of the Daily Monitor. It still talks about Iran. It's a big concern. Alone frightened on bus from Iran. That's the main headline on the front page of the Daily Monitor. 43 Ugandan students share their experience on that 950-kilometer escape journey from Tehran to Bazargan on the border with Turkey on a government-provided bus as the US-Israel war raged on. Setting off at 5 a.m., the 15-hour trip was fraught with fear. Now, this is an angle that many people are not looking at. The plight of Kenyans and other Africans who are in the Middle East, now that this fight is affecting even places like Dubai, that we've never seen, never imagined that they could be at war. Saudi Arabia, areas like Doha, Qatar, where many Kenyans are. I'm told about 500,000 Kenyans are in Saudi Arabia. You can imagine. This is a small group of Ugandans in Iran who are now trying to escape to Turkey. I think we focus too much on the oil issue and the fuel prices, not focusing on the plight of our people who are there. And that is what the Daily Monitor in Uganda has focused on. Yes, that's the Daily Monitor.
All right, the New Vision talks about a total of 40 states allow Ugandans to travel without a visa. So the government has listed visa-free countries for Ugandans, Kenya included. And that's the main story on the front page of the New Vision this morning. Other quick headlines: Museveni offers Muslim women 20 billion shillings. Muslim women. That's Ugandan money, but it's still something, anyway, if you look at it. A woman who made Ugandans eat soil to cure AIDS. So this is also a problem in Uganda.
Is that Alice Lakwena? Alice Lakwena was a very mystical woman, especially in the 80s and 90s. And she had the kind of effect that probably could only, in Kenyan sense, probably Shakahola, that Mackenzie kind of effect. It wasn't as tragic.
To cure AIDS, we have a war as well. The story we did last month. In Tanzania, there's also someone else.
There's also Loliondo.
Yes.
Daktari Kule.
So it's a East Africa problem.
Yes.
All right, that's the New Vision.
All right, talking of Tanzania, I'm looking at the front page of the Citizen now, and yes, the focus is on what's happening in the Middle East, but now they focus on the fuel prices. Government to boost fuel reserves amid Middle East conflict. This is the biggest concern in East Africa and most of Africa and other countries, that fuel prices will rise because The Strait of Hormuz will be blocked. Iran is not exporting oil. I don't know, a lot will change. But I like the fact that Uganda has gone with the plight of Kenya, or of Ugandans in that region. So they say that the president in Tanzania has directed the Energy Ministry and other relevant authorities to beef up Tanzania's strategic fuel reserves. Just like Kenya is saying, tusijali, tuko na mafuta hadi mwisho wa April. Muta, hey. April ni next month.
Wewe usitutishie wewe.
Haya, that's a citizen.
Gazeti la Mwananchi, makali bei ya mafuta, mzozo Mashariki ya Kati. Hiyo ndio habari kuu katika ukurasa wa mbele wa gazeti hili. Rais Samia agiza kuahirisha akiba ya kimkakati ya mafuta kulinda Tanzania na janga la bei, upungufu, ujenzi wa matanki kuongeza ufanisi wa mapato. TPA yapewa majukumu mapya. Hiyo ndio habari kuu katika ukurasa wa mbele wa gazeti hili. That's as far as the regional daily is
Yes,
concerned.
let's come back and take a look at the local cartoons to see the focus, and you'll see that generally it's all about what's happening in the Middle East. And I start off with a cartoon on the Star. So we have barrels of oil there.